The Battle of 73 Easting, fought on February 26, 1991, was one of the most decisive armored clashes of the Gulf War, demonstrating the technological superiority, tactical proficiency, and overwhelming firepower of the U.S. Army against the heavily entrenched but outmatched Iraqi forces. Taking place in the featureless desert of southeastern Iraq, the battle occurred as part of Operation Desert Storm's ground offensive, which had begun just 2 days earlier with the objective of crushing Saddam Hussein's forces and liberating Kuwait from Iraqi occupation. The engagement was named after the 73rd Easting, a north-south coordinate line used by the U.S. military to track battlefield movements. It was along this line that the U.S. 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, 2nd ACR, under the command of Colonel Don Holder and with Lieutenant Colonel H.R.McMaster leading Eagle Troop, encountered and decisively defeated elements of the Iraqi Republican Guard's elite Tawakalna division. The Republican Guard had been tasked with forming a defensive line to slow the coalition advance, but their outdated Soviet-designed equipment and rigid defensive tactics were ill-suited to counter the highly mobile and technologically advanced American units. As the 2nd ACR advanced through a sandstorm, its M1A1 Abrams main battle tanks and M3 Bradley fighting vehicles relied on thermal imaging and advanced targeting systems to detect enemy positions long before they could be seen with the naked eye. The U.S. forces were conducting a reconnaissance in-force mission, intending to probe enemy defenses, but instead, they stumbled into a major engagement when they crossed a ridgeline and unexpectedly came into contact with a large Iraqi defensive formation. Despite the Iraqis holding defensive positions with dug-in T-72 tanks, BMP infantry fighting vehicles, and artillery support, the American superior fire control systems allowed them to open fire first, engaging targets at distances beyond the reach of the enemy's weapons. The M1A1 Abrams, equipped with a 120mm smoothbore cannon and advanced Chobham armor, was vastly superior to the older Soviet-built T-72s, which lacked sophisticated targeting and stabilization systems, preventing them from firing accurately on the move. McMaster's Eagle Troop, leading the charge, advanced aggressively, using speed and shock to prevent the Iraqis from organizing an effective counterattack. In a span of minutes, the troop destroyed multiple enemy vehicles with precision fire, neutralizing enemy armor before it could respond. The Iraqi crews, realizing they were vastly outgunned, attempted to return fire, but their rounds either missed or failed to penetrate the composite armor of the Abrams. The battle quickly became a rout as Eagle Troop pressed forward, eliminating Iraqi defensive positions one by one. In total, the 2nd ACR destroyed over 85 Iraqi tanks, more than 40 armored personnel carriers, and dozens of trucks and artillery pieces, while suffering only a handful of casualties and a few damaged vehicles in return. The rapid and overwhelming destruction of the Iraqi force, many of whom were unaware of the Americans' exact position until it was too late, highlighted the stark disparity between U.S. and Iraqi military capabilities. The impact of the engagement at 73 Easting went far beyond the battlefield. It shattered a key defensive line of the Republican Guard, opening the way for coalition forces to advance further into Iraqi territory with minimal resistance. The battle reinforced the effectiveness of the U.S. Army's doctrine of maneuver warfare, which emphasized mobility, firepower, and coordination between different combat arms. It also underscored the importance of technological advancements such as thermal imaging, GPS navigation, and precision-guided fire control systems, which allowed U.S. forces to detect and engage the enemy at night and in poor weather conditions with devastating accuracy. The success of the 2nd ACR's actions at 73 Easting contributed to the rapid conclusion of the Gulf War, as the Iraqi military crumbled under the sustained assault of coalition forces. Today, the battle is studied in military academies as a textbook example of modern armored warfare, illustrating how superior technology, training, and aggressive tactics can decisively defeat a numerically superior but technologically inferior opponent in open combat.